The Book, Chapter 1. The Discovery. The antique shop smelled of time, old wood, dust, and something faintly metallic, like blood. Amelia Trent moved slowly between the cluttered aisles, her fingers brushing over relics that whispered of forgotten owners. A cracked violin, a faded wedding dress, and then a book. It was wedged between two broken picture frames, bound in dark leather so worn it looked alive. The title was embossed faintly in a language she didn't recognize. She felt an inexplicable pull. "Ah," came a voice. The shopkeeper appeared from the shadows, an older man with silver hair and pale eyes that seemed to look through her. "That one finds who it's meant for," he said. Amelia tried to laugh it off. "You mean it's haunted?" The man smiled thinly. "Haunted? No, it's honest. It tells truths most people spend lifetimes hiding." Against reason, she bought it. The book felt heavier than it should, almost warm to the touch. As she left, she glanced back. The shopkeeper watched her go, his face unreadable, whispering to himself, "Another keeper chosen." That night, in her small apartment, Amelia opened the book under the soft light of her desk lamp. The first page was blank. The second wasn't. It had her name on it, and below it, in jagged handwriting, "I know what they did to you." Chapter 2. The First Curse. Sleep wouldn't come. Amelia sat on the couch, staring at the book. Each page turned on its own, as if moved by breath. It began showing names, faces she knew, and then Lucy, her best friend. Under Lucy's name were words scrawled like scratches. She lied. She took what was yours. Amelia's chest tightened. Lucy, her confidant, her sister in all but blood, had convinced their boss not to promote her last year. Amelia had laughed it off then, but now the book proved it. The book whispered, "Do you want to make her feel what you felt?" The instructions appeared. Strange symbols. Words in a language she didn't know, yet understood. She whispered them aloud. The air froze. The lamp flickered. The book's pages burned red at the edges and went still. Miles away, in her bed, Lucy woke screaming, her room swarming with shadows that shouldn't move. Chapter 3. The Visit. Morning light brought no peace. Amelia sat hollow-eyed, the book now sitting innocently on her table. A knock startled her. When she opened the door, Lucy stood there, pale, trembling. I don't know what's happening," Lucy whispered. "I saw things, Amelia. My room went cold. I heard whispering. Someone said my name." Amelia's throat tightened. "Lucy, calm down!" But the guilt and fear twisted together. She could feel the book's eyes on her from across the room. Lucy noticed it too. "What's that?" Amelia's hand twitched. "Nothing. Just an old book." Lucy took a step forward, her gaze fixed on it. "It feels wrong." The pages fluttered open on their own, and both women jumped back. The book whispered, though only Amelia seemed to understand. "You did this!" Amelia slammed it shut, shaking. Lucy fled, tears in her eyes. The door clicked shut behind her, and the book began to hum, softly, like something alive and waiting. Chapter 4. The Calling at Work. The next day, Amelia tried to pretend things were normal. She typed, answered emails, smiled at coworkers. But beneath the fluorescent lights, the whispers came back. At first, she thought they were voices from nearby cubicles. Then she realized they were inside her head. "They talk about you. They never respected you. They all laughed." Her hands shook as she tried to focus. The whispers grew louder whenever she looked away from her bag, the bag that held the book. By lunch, she could no longer stand it. She opened her desk drawer and peeked inside. The book lay there, pulsing faintly. "Stop it!" she hissed. No one heard her. The whispers changed tone, soothing now, tempting. You can protect yourself. You just have to listen. Amelia's coworker, Mary, passed by and smiled politely. Amelia's stomach twisted. She remembered Lucy's trembling confession the day before, and how the book had been right. Could it be right again? Chapter 5. The Lie. That afternoon, Amelia found herself alone in the break room, staring at her reflection in the vending machine glass. The whispers returned. Mary told your boss you weren't ready. She took your promotion. Amelia's breath quickened. That's not true, she said aloud. But when she glanced into the glass again, her reflection smiled and whispered back, Yes, it is. Mary entered, startled by Amelia's expression. You okay? Amelia turned slowly. Why would you lie about me, Mary? Mary blinked, confused. Lie? What are you talking about? The tension was suffocating. The light above them flickered. Amelia's phone buzzed. A message from her boss. Need to discuss your performance review next week. Her vision tunneled. The book had been right before. Her hand clenched around her coffee cup until it cracked. As Mary left the room, Amelia's gaze dropped to her purse. The book inside vibrated softly. She deserves it, it whispered. Don't you agree? Chapter 6. The Mirror Woman. That night, the apartment seemed to breathe. Amelia stared at herself in the bathroom mirror, hands gripping the sink. Her reflection looked older, tired, drained. A whisper slithered through the silence. You've done well. She turned sharply. No one was there. When she looked back, another face stared from the glass. A withered old woman with hollow eyes and gray-green skin. The figure leaned close, whispering into Amelia's ear, though no one else stood beside her. I can make them all pay. Amelia screamed and stumbled backward. The light flickered. The reflection lingered, smiling. She grabbed her face. It felt thinner, her skin dry and tight. She was aging. You're becoming me, the reflection crooned. Chapter 7. The Return Attempt. By morning, Amelia's hands trembled as she held the book. She shoved it into a tote and drove straight to the antique shop. But when she arrived, the store was abandoned, windows boarded, dust thick on the handles. A faded sign read, Closed, permanently. Inside, she saw only emptiness. The counter where the shopkeeper once stood was covered in dust and cobwebs. But as she turned to leave, the voice came again, soft, female, familiar. You can't leave me, Amelia. The bag ripped. The book fell open on the floor, glowing faintly. On its pages appeared a new line written in crimson ink. You can only give me to when you've marked. Realization struck like lightning. Lucy. Amelia staggered out of the store, clutching her head, the voice in her mind laughing softly. Chapter 8. The Passing. That evening, Amelia stood at Lucy's door, pale and desperate. Lucy opened it reluctantly, seeing how frail Amelia had become. Amelia, you look. What's happening to you? Amelia held out the book with shaking hands. Please, just take it. You can stop this. Lucy frowned, backing away. I don't want anything to do with that thing. Amelia's voice cracked. I can't get rid of it unless someone I've hurt takes it. Please, Lucy, I'm dying. After a long silence, Lucy, her heart too kind, took the book. The moment it touched her hands, the air thickened. The lamp behind them flickered violently. Amelia gasped, collapsing with relief. Thank you. But when she looked up, the whisperer was still there, standing behind Lucy, whispering into Amelia's ear, even though the old woman's lips never moved. You think you're free? You never will be. Amelia screamed. The lights burst. Chapter 9. The Realm of the Damned Darkness. Lucy opened her eyes and found herself standing in a twisted corridor lined with enormous, moving paintings. Faces melted and reformed within the frames, some weeping, some screaming silently. "Where am I?" she whispered. From behind her, a woman sobbed. Dozens of lost souls wandered aimlessly, murmuring names. They were pale, transparent, trapped. A voice echoed through the corridor, Amelia's voice, distorted. "It knows everything you've ever done." Lucy clutched her chest. The walls pulsed like flesh. The paintings began to shift, showing people she recognized. Amelia, Mary, even herself, each disfigured, their mouths sewn shut. She understood then. The book was a prison, and she was inside it. Chapter 10. The murders begin. Back in the real world, Amelia stood before her window, staring into the night. Her reflection in the glass wasn't hers anymore. The Whisperer's hollow eyes stared back, and far away, those who had once crossed her began to die. Mary collapsed at her desk, eyes wide with terror, whispering Amelia's name. Her boss, Mr. Davis, saw shadows moving in his office before the lights went out forever. Even strangers, people who had only brushed past Amelia in traffic, started disappearing. Amelia's face twisted in anguish and confusion. "I didn't mean for this." The reflection smiled cruelly. "Intent no longer matters." Thunder cracked outside. The book glowed faintly on her table, turning its own pages as the names kept appearing, one after another. Chapter 11. Innocents Targeted. The killings no longer followed logic, no longer knew the names that appeared in the book, faces of people who had never wronged her. A teacher, a grocery clerk, a child's mother. Each name written in the same jagged crimson ink. Her apartment was filled with the smell of burning paper. Candles she didn't remember lighting flickered along the windowsill. Amelia's reflection, the Whisperer, watched her every move. "You've done well," it purred. "Now they'll all understand suffering." "No!" Amelia screamed. "They didn't do anything." The reflection smirked. "You said the same thing once, didn't you?" She slammed her fists against the mirror until cracks spidered across it. But her reflection didn't break. It laughed. Outside, sirens wailed. Inside, Amelia's phone buzzed. Another news alert. 3 found dead, mysterious markings carved into their walls. The mark was the same sigil the book had shown her on the first night. Chapter 12. The search begins. Across town, Mrs. Thompson sat at her kitchen table with a cup of tea, praying for her missing granddaughter. Lucy hadn't been seen in days. The police had no leads. Then the house phone rang. Static first, then a faint, trembling voice. "Grandma, help me!" Mrs. Thompson froze, the cup slipping from her hand and shattering. "Lucy?" The voice cracked, distant and echoing. "It's dark. I can't get out. The book—" The line went dead. Mrs. Thompson bowed her head, tears in her eyes. "Lord, give me strength," she whispered. She rose, wrapped a shawl around her shoulders, and left for Amelia's apartment. If evil had taken root, she would face it herself. Chapter 13. The Confrontation. The apartment door swung open before Mrs. Thompson could knock. Amelia stood there, eyes black and empty. "Where's Lucy?" Mrs. Thompson demanded. Amelia's voice came out layered, hers and the Whisperer's intertwined. "She's safe where she belongs." The priest from Mrs. Thompson's church appeared behind her, holding a small crucifix and a vial of holy water. "Evil spirit," he said firmly, "release this woman!" Amelia screamed, the sound inhuman. The lights shattered. Wind ripped through the room as she lunged at the priest, knocking him backward. Mrs. Thompson grabbed the fallen crucifix and pressed it to Amelia's forehead. Smoke hissed from her skin. The Whisperer shrieked, retreating into the shadows. Amelia staggered, clutching her head. "Please help me!" Mrs. Thompson's heart ached. "Then fight her, child! Fight her!" But it was too late. The Whisperer roared back, stronger. Amelia's body convulsed, eyes rolling back as if something deeper had taken full control. Chapter 14. The Haunting. They fled the apartment into the cold night air. Behind them, glass shattered and lights flickered as if the building itself had turned against them. Back home, Mrs. Thompson laid awake, clutching her rosary. She could still hear Amelia's scream echoing in her ears. Then, the whispers began. Faint at first, then louder. "You took what's mine." The book lay on her kitchen table, exactly where she'd dropped it earlier. She didn't remember bringing it home. The air grew heavy. Shadows crept along the walls. And then she heard it. Lucy's voice again, crying. "Grandma, I'm still here. Please don't let her win." Mrs. Thompson covered her ears, shaking. No, no more. The entire night, the whispers tormented her, alternating between Lucy's pleas and the whisper's mocking laughter. When dawn came, Mrs. Thompson's eyes were red, her voice hoarse. She knew what she had to do. Chapter 15. The Journey to the Church. The morning was gray and cold. Mrs. Thompson wrapped the book in a cloth, holding it close as she walked through town. The priest met her halfway, fear etched across his face. "Are you sure you can bear it?" he asked. "I must," she said. "This evil ends today." As they neared the church, people began staring. Their eyes glazed over, faces twisting with confusion and anger. A young man stepped in front of her, his voice monotone. "Give it to us." Others joined him, stumbling toward her as if pulled by invisible strings. The book pulsed in her hands, its whispers turning into laughter. Mrs. Thompson pushed forward, praying under her breath. Just as the church came into view, a car screeched around the corner and slammed into a storefront beside the chapel. Glass exploded, screams filled the air. But as Mrs. Thompson crossed the church threshold, silence. Instant, complete silence. The whispers vanished. The air felt clean again. She fell to her knees before the altar, clutching the book. Tears streamed down her face as the priest locked the heavy wooden doors behind them. "This is where it ends," she said. Chapter 16. The Sacred Battle. The church was empty except for Mrs. Thompson, the priest, and the book resting on the altar beneath the soft glow of stained glass. Candles flickered, casting long, trembling shadows across the pews. The priest opened his Bible. "We begin." As he prayed, the book quivered, its cover straining as though something within wanted out. A low growl echoed through the nave. The air thickened, humming with pressure. Mrs. Thompson gripped her rosary tighter. "Lord, deliver us from evil." The book burst open. Pages flapped wildly. The stained glass rattled as a gust of cold air swept through the sanctuary. From the darkened archway, Amelia appeared. Her hair was matted, her skin gray and cracking. Her eyes glowed an unnatural white. "You think your walls can stop me?" The voice was layered, Amelia and the Whisperer speaking as one. The priest stepped forward. "We're not afraid of you." The Whisperer smiled through Amelia's mouth. "You should be." Chapter 17. The Possession Breaks. Lightning cracked outside. Rain pounded the roof as the ritual intensified. The priest sprinkled holy water, each drop sizzling as it hit the floor. Amelia screamed, clutching her head. "It burns!" Mrs. Thompson moved closer, tears streaming. "Amelia, you are stronger than her. Remember who you are." For a moment, Amelia's true voice broke through. "Lucy, I'm sorry." Inside the book's realm, Lucy heard her. The words echoed through the black corridors like a bell. She ran toward the sound, guided by hope. Back in the church, the book snapped open on its own. A column of dark smoke erupted, twisting into the form of the old woman, the Whisperer, fully revealed. Her face was both beautiful and monstrous, flickering between centuries of stolen identities. "You cannot banish me," she hissed. "I am every secret ever kept." The priest raised the cross high. "Then it's time the truth sets you free." He pressed the cross to the book. The whisperer shrieked, the sound shaking the entire church. Chapter 18. Lucy's Escape. Inside the book's dimension, Lucy fell to her knees as light poured through the cracks in the air. The whispers that tormented her turned to screams. She looked up to see a fissure of light forming above her. Through it, Amelia's tearful face appeared. "Lucy, take my hand." Lucy reached upward. Her fingers brushed the edge of the glowing rift. The whisperer's shadow reached for her too, clawing through the darkness. "Stay," it commanded, but Lucy pulled harder. The light grew, shattering the warped paintings and breaking the spell. The souls trapped within rose upward like smoke freed from glass. With one final push, Lucy burst through the rift, landing on the church floor beside Mrs. Thompson. The book slammed shut. Silence fell. Chapter 19. The Light Returns. The church was wrecked, benches splintered, candles extinguished, but a faint golden glow remained over the altar. Amelia lay motionless. The gray drained from her skin. The whisperer was gone. Mrs. Thompson knelt beside her. "Amelia!" Amelia's eyes fluttered open. They were brown again, human. "Is it over?" The priest nodded, his voice trembling. "For now." He lifted the book carefully and placed it inside a locked reliquary behind the altar. "It stays here, under watch. It must never be opened again." Amelia wept softly. Lucy embraced her, whispering, "You saved me. You fought her." Outside, the morning sun broke through the clouds, its rays piercing through the stained glass, turning the cracked walls into a mosaic of color and light. Chapter 20. Epilogue. The book sealed. Weeks later, peace had returned. Amelia volunteered at the church, helping restore the damage done that night. Lucy moved back home with her grandmother, her laughter slowly returning. But sometimes, at dusk, Amelia swore she could still hear faint whispers echoing beneath the church floor. The priest never confirmed it, but he prayed longer every evening. And deep inside the reliquary, the book rested quietly, its cover no longer warm, its pages still. On the very last page, faint handwriting appeared, fresh as though written moments ago. "Evil never dies, it only waits." But this time, the light was ready. At the end,